over again. And again, I apologize. So this is an old post. It's back from 2013. Definitely don't judge her. It's a whole different lifetime now. So if we wanted to edit this post, and I'm going to go back and just reiterate, no classic plugin editor is being used on this site. She has transferred over to using Gutenberg going forward. But if I want to edit this post, and obviously she has not gone back to posts from 2013 to change them to Gutenberg, nor is she probably going to want to. You know, she might just leave those. This is what it'll look like. When you get rid of Classic Editor, your posts will stay like this. So technically speaking, it is still showing as a Classic Editor post. Okay. If you want to edit it, you just click on this and you'll get the Classic Editor information at the top. Okay. And then you just scroll down and it's still a Classic Editor post. Now say she does want to update this and now she wants it to be Gutenberg. I'm just going to click the 3 buttons and click Convert to Blocks. Now she's got a post that has an image block, paragraph, paragraph. She wants to. Now she can insert new blocks if she wants to do something different. Okay. And that's all there is. So if you have clients or you're an admin or your own sites and you're afraid to change the classic, you're afraid to get rid of the Classic Editor plugin, don't be. This is exactly how your blog posts will sit in the Classic Editor until you're ready to change them out. Okay. So thank you for being my guinea pig for that. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this. So you guys are good with that. Okay. So this is just a sample post that I did on a test site that I have. It's called fun.2dogsdesign. It's nothing public. It's just for me to have some fun and test out things. So this is my happy place where I do silly, goofy things. So what we're going to cover, I'm going to do some more basic overviews of things that you can do. And then I'm also going to do just a couple of advanced things. I don't want to do too much advanced. The block editors can be done in so many different ways. And I know probably a lot of you are looking at adding plugins. I'm going to say if you guys are going to add Gutenberg block plugins, just be really careful. I can't stress enough, you don't want to have too many plugins. You want to minimize as much as you can. So when you're doing your due diligence about how you're going to use Gutenberg on your site, really give thought to how you're going to use it. Think about, do you need toggles? Do you need accordions? Do you need call to action blocks? Do you want those cool hero images at the top of your posts? Things like that. Think about what you need and then find a plugin that will match those needs. I really try to limit Gutenberg block plugins to 2 because they do add a lot of JavaScript. They do add a lot of features you're not going to need. It's going to slow down your site. You're going to be at a higher risk for getting hacked. You guys have to be careful with the plugins. It could be a lot of fun adding a million different Gutenberg block plugins, but it's going to hurt you in the end. So really give thought to what you want your blocks to do. So one I really like is ultimate add-ons for Gutenberg. I do use that one a lot on client sites. It's just basic. There's not a lot of frills in it. There's not a lot of super cool features, but it's enough to give them enough pop for their blog pages or blog posts or pages. A couple of other ones are Stackable. Stackable Pro is one that I use. That's the only pro one that I've actually purchased. I do use it on some of my client sites that want to have real control over the look and feel of their sites. Another one that we really like, there's like 3 or 4. I'm just going to try and run through them real quick. Atomic Blocks is also a good one. Cadence Blocks is also a good one. So those are the 4 I primarily use. Again, Atomic Blocks, Stackable, Cadence, and then Ultimate Add-ons. The other one I really like, which I am using almost on every site I have, is called Block Gallery. And it allows you to add sliders and masonry galleries. So if you have posts that are image heavy, that's a really good one. It's super easy to use. So this will be in the blog post that I created for you guys. Again, there's a lot of block plugins out there now. So go through, figure out what you need, and pick the one that you want. These are the ones that I've had experience with. I know they're from safe developers, and they just really have a good, strong backing behind them. So that's it as far as the blocks. So now into the fun stuff. So I'm gonna go back to my post. So this was just, like I said, this is just a fun post, just a random thing I mixed together. I'm gonna go over some of the features. So right now you can see I have this whole full block editing area. It's nice and clean, except for the standard menu. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. There's a couple of different options. If you go up here, okay, you can do a top toolbar, spotlight mode, full screen mode. So what this is, okay, full screen mode means I can get rid of that sidebar on the left. Spotlight mode I actually like. So what spotlight mode does is it kind of, you can see it's all faded out now. So I'll turn it back on. Everything gets dark. Okay. But when I'm working on a block, that block will get dark. Hold on, let me get to a block. Hold on. Okay, so now you can see this block is darker, this one's lighter. Just kind of helps you see, and maybe it's an old age thing, I don't know, but I like that I can see more clearly what block I'm working on at any given point in time. So that's what the spotlight mode is. And then the top toolbar, I'm starting to actually like this more. So this is the difference with the top toolbar. I don't know, you know, everybody's going to be different with this. So if I don't have this clicked and I click on my paragraph, the toolbar is right here. Blocks to text above, a little hard to see. If I click top toolbar, it's not here anymore. Now it's up here. So this is just a usability, whatever you guys find a little bit easier. Okay. The only other thing in here, I don't know that you guys would use this much. There's a visual editor, just like it was in the classic, but there's also a code editor. Now it's going to show me all the code of the site. I don't know that you guys will need it that much because there is a code, there's a code block. So if you do have code to insert into a post, you can easily do it in the visual editor now. Okay, a couple of things here. Block manager, manage all reusable blocks, keyboard shortcuts. I haven't gotten into this, but it does give you, I'm not into the shortcuts, but if you guys are into shortcuts to make your life easier, these are all the standard shortcuts that are available to you. So like if you wanted to make selected text bold, you click this with the B and it'll make it bold. So you can go through this on your own, but it is an option. I just don't use shortcuts ever. This is a really cool feature. So I am going to go over real quick in a little bit about making quote unquote a post template or a page template, whatever you want to call it. But there's also a feature called copy all content underneath the tools here. And I think they just added this because I don't remember this ever being here before. So copy all content literally copies everything on a page. So say you have a review post page that you just finished, you love it, and you want to use it for every review post page. Essentially, you could do that. Copy all content. I'm going to go to add new. I'm going to leave. And then I'm going to click here and I'm going to click paste. And it just copied my whole post over for me. Okay, now I could just rewrite the text. Okay, so like here, you know, I've got my pros and cons saved, so I can just rewrite over everything. So that's kind of a cool thing that I really like. So, but I am going to show you a different way to have content. So we'll get to that. It's a little more advanced. So again, you want to look up here, you know, make sure there's things in here that you want to use. Block manager. I'm going to open this. Okay, this is, you can see there's a lot going on here. So this is all the blocks on my site right now that are available for me to use. So under text, you have paragraph, heading, list, quote, code. I know some of these I'll never use, so I can turn them off. Okay, so let's take a look real quick here. Okay, so I'm going to add a block. And then if I click, and this is a shortcut, when you're ready to add a new block, if you click that, just your backslash, and say I wanted to add columns here. If I type in columns, it'll show me anything related to columns. If I type featured, if I don't have a featured block, post, it'll show me any post related. So this is just a little shortcut. You can also use it from in here. You can do an ad block here, or you could do an ad block from here. So there's a couple different ways. This is going to be what is easier for you. As you get to know the common blocks, this is really the shortest way. So if I just wanted to add a paragraph. Interesting, it's not finding it for me. And that's why I said there's always going to be those little glitchy things. Usually it pulls paragraph right up. But where I'm going with this, when I hit that slash and I see all these blocks, there's way too many for me to choose from. It would take me forever to find the one that I want. And that's where this comes in handy. So you can get rid of whatever things in there that you know you're never going to use. So let's look at block manager. I'm going to get rid of, I'll probably never use verse. I'll never use pull quote, pre-formatted. I probably will never use quote. Media, I'll never use cover. Video, we'll do spacer, and just do a couple more. I'll never use any of this stuff. These are all widgets. Actually, I'm going to turn widgets off. I don't even think I'll ever use widgets. I'll probably, embeds I know I'll use, but I'm just turning it off for now. Close that. And now if I try, you can see how much shorter my list just got. Okay, so really clean this up and make it, maybe you only use typically 5 blocks in your posts. I can't see many of you using many more than that. Paragraph, media, maybe a column block, some kind of info, testimonial, whatever, but minimize it so it just makes your life that much easier. This is a speed thing. You want to get your content done so that you can go market it. This is one of the best ways to do it. So that is kind of tip number 1 a lot of people are not aware of. Okay. The next one is this, okay, content structure and information. Okay, I don't have, you know what, I am going to jump into my site for a second because my other site has a better example of this, and I just want to be able to show you. When you guys are writing your content, okay, SEO tip, you should be making sure you are in line with what the top 10 results are ranking for. So what that means, when you're writing your content, you want to make sure you have the same amount of content or 10 to 15% more than your competitor. You want to make sure you have a very similar number of H2 tags or H3 tags. You want to make sure you're in line with what your competitors are doing. So one of the things that I really like about Gutenberg is it helps you see that. And this is something that was never available before. And if you notice, I just want to show you guys real quick. So up here, okay, you can see how different this looks than here. This is the latest version that just came out, the 5.5. I think it just came out yesterday. So this is the newer version. They really improved the accessibility and things. So it's a much sharper, crisper look. This I haven't updated. I do not update the same day. 5.5 just came out today. If you're hosting with me, don't worry about it. But if you're not hosting with me, I would just wait a couple days. Make sure you do a backup. It is a major update. So make sure you do a backup before you update to 5.5. But when you do, you're going to see it look like this. It's a little bit brighter and more focused. So back to the other thing. Sorry, I'm skipping around a little bit. There's so much to go over. So again, you want to make sure your content's in line with what your top competitors have. If their pages are averaging, 1,000 words, you want to make sure you're at, 1,200 words. If they're using 10 H2 tags to separate their content, you might want to use, 8 to 12 H2 tags to separate your content. Well, now they make it super easy to see that. Okay, so when you're looking at this little eye up here, it's your content structure. It's telling me I'm using 1,500 words in this post. I have 10 headings. I can see how they're broken out. And you want to make sure, I always stress this, make sure your headings make sense. Make sure your H2s are followed by H3s. Make sure, these aren't H3s and then H2s are underneath. You want it to be consistent. So this just really helps you see that you're writing well-organized content. Make sure it all falls in line. I use this on every single post. This is just something I make sure I have word count proper. I have my H2 tags proper. So definitely use that for your SEO efforts. Okay, we went over the block manager. I'm going to go back to this because this is the newer version. So you can see, like, this is what it looks like right now when you search for a block. This is probably what most of you guys have. So I just wanted to show you both for those of you who have not updated yet. I want to make sure you don't freak out when you see the new version. You're like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like the video. That's why I wanted to focus on this a little more so you get used to this. So this ad block is very different. It's obviously not as pretty. It's not as focused. They did a good job updating this. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Hold on. It's not letting me out of here for some reason. Remember I said about glitches? It never fails on a live webinar. Okay, so if I click here, now you can search for blocks from here. This is a new feature. I did cover this in a blog post a while back. So now you have your regular blogs. Then there's pattern blocks, sorry. And these are, most of these are already in here, I believe. So now you've got, you know, if I wanted to add, I don't know why it's not letting me edit this. All right. So if I wanted to add a pattern block, you've got your two buttons, okay? And then if we click on this, it'll give me my settings area. So I can click on document, block, let me go back to the block. Okay, and it'll give me, it's supposed to give me options on the side. There's no block options, but there should be for colors. So something funky is going on. Let me try a different one. Bear with me here, because this was working when I tested a few weeks ago. You got to click on the button. Sorry. So when you click on the buttons, you'll be able to make changes. And what I really like that this is new for the 5.5. You'll see this when you guys update. So you actually click on the button and you can make the changes. So you have color settings. Okay. For this one, maybe I want to make this one, we'll do this one as a purple color, blue. That's the text. Maybe I'll make this one a gradient of orange. And this one, I want to do a background of black with white text. Oh, why would that not take black? Oh, it's got white text. Let's do red text. So you can make different buttons, all different colors. I love this feature. I am very big on another tip. Because Amazon cut commissions, what I've been doing on my own blog posts, I will use two buttons. One will be a black button with white text that links to Amazon. This one will be a colored button with whatever color text looks good with it, and it will link out directly to the manufacturer's site where I'll get a bigger affiliate commission. So I'm using these two buttons a whole lot these days. I'm trying to get people to buy from the manufacturer with those affiliate links and not Amazon. So this is a great use case for that. Highly recommend it. So that's just one example of that. You guys probably know, you just click on a block and you should be able to delete it. And that's going to prove me wrong here. Oh. Okay. There's some funky things going on. That's what I'm saying. You might want to wait a little bit on the update to 5.5 because there is a few things that are a little weird that I'm seeing right now. But I do want to keep it in 5.5 because I want you to see this when you do update. So those are the patterns. And again, there's a few options. You got 3 buttons. You have a column with a text on top. So if I want to put that in, okay, you just click on the image, you change out the image, just copy the text here. Okay, so it's really, you know, they made it really easy. I'm actually going to do a new post real quick. All right, so let's go back to patterns. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah, it's really glitchy. It's not even letting me change out these images. Usually you can click on the image and just do the upload, and it's not letting me do that. So don't update to 5.5 yet. Okay, so let me go back to this real quick. Okay, that just kind of screwed me up. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. All right, so one of the things I wanted to touch base on, which I'm going to move this over. This is the post I did, which will have all the information from the webinar in it. It's not live yet, but it will be by the time we're done. Okay, so we went over changing from classic editor, information button, the block manager. Okay, so every time you add a block, new area, you want to make sure you delete the blocks that you don't need. Post and page templates are reusable blocks. I'm going to do that one last because that one's the most time consuming. Boost revenue and engagement. Okay, there are several ways that you can really use this to boost your revenue engagement. I didn't finish this area yet, but one of my favorites is I create banner ads and I make them category specific. So I may have ad / lifestyle category. And I place that banner ad in every single post when I create it, that's within that category. Then I only have to change out the ad in one place and it'll change it across the website. So say you're working with Chewy and Chewy has this amazing promotion for 40% off, you know, all their stuff. Now you've got this one, and I'm going to show you how to create it in a minute, but now you have this reusable block just for your dog food category, because maybe that's where you're promoting Chewy. And you create this banner block that goes within your post, every post that is within your dog food category. When they announce this amazing new deal, you're going to put that on, you're just going to go one place, change that ad out, and it's going to change it in the 400 posts you may have. Okay, that's the one thing I love about it. I mean, there's so many reasons to love this. Your mailing list sign up. Okay, on some of my sites, I make mailing list signups specific to categories because every category you're kind of targeting different people. If you're doing, I know you guys are all pet bloggers. I'm just trying to think of the pet stuff. But if you're doing toys, okay, maybe you want to be specific about your mailing list. Maybe you have people who are more interested in toys. If you're a big breed blog and pit bull toys are always something we're looking for. You can do, a pit bull specific mailing list sign up saying, looking for, durable dog toys, and just have that on each post within that dog toys category. So remember, the more you gear your content towards your specific personas within your blog, the better conversion rates you're going to see. So I am going to use Carol because I know your site well, so it just makes sense to use you. So if I was Carol, what I'd be doing today is going through, and I'm going to be looking, okay, so I have all about cockers. So every mailing list that I have within my cockers category should be specific to Cocker Spaniel owners. I would do a little reusable block. I would label it mailing list, semicolon, cockers. And then you're going to use the same mailing list, but the text you're going to use to try and get them to sign up is going to be different. For this category, I might write, love your Cocker Spaniel. I can help you, give them the best life possible, or whatever you say. Then you might want a different one for nutrition. If your nutrition's not all specific to Cocker Spaniels and you're writing, general nutrition, you would do a nutrition mailing list sign up. Want more great nutrition tips for your dog? Sign up here. And then that mailing list subscribe box goes in every nutrition post. I can guarantee with a lot of certainty that you'll increase your mailing list signups doing this, just really customizing. Same thing for banner ads, okay? Your nutrition banner ads will only go on your nutrition posts. Your Cocker Spaniel specific banner ads for your manufacturers will only go on Cocker Spaniel posts. It'll increase your conversions and it should increase your revenue and signups. So those are two ways that I use reusable blocks all the time. And then the vendor you work with, we already talked about that. Like if Chewy has a special promotion, you can easily change it out real quick. And then you can change it back to the old ad when that 3-day promotion is over. You can just change it back to the ad that was there. So we'll go over this in a few more minutes. We started a little late, so I'm going to run a little bit late. I hope that's okay with everybody. We had those issues. So we'll end at 2, and then we'll do a 10 or 15-minute Q&A, however long you guys need. Group blocks. So some of the blocks that you may download, like atomic blocks or whatever else, they will have what are called container blocks. Container blocks are great for keeping your stuff grouped together. If you don't want to add an extra plugin, group blocks are awesome and I use them a lot. So when you're writing your post, you may, I don't know how, everybody writes differently. I tend to write all over the place. So I think of something, I write it, and then I think of something else, and then I write it. But sometimes it doesn't fall in line with how I want it to read in the post. So I want to be able to move my stuff around easily up and down the post. So what group blocks do, it just puts them all together. And so it makes it easy to move. Like this is actually a group block. And you can see I can just easily move all this stuff wherever I want because it's all grouped in one block. But group blocks also allow you to do color backgrounds. This is actually a column that I added, but here's the group block background. Okay. And then I added, there's actually a column block in here. And this is my column block. Okay. So there's color settings. And I'm going to show you how I did this real quick. So you just do a search for group, you do your group block, and then you just add your content into that group block. Like I said, for me, I like adding, like when I do a section, like my group block section, all of this essentially could be a group. That way I can easily move this up further in the post if I want to. Okay, but let's do group block title. And group block text. And we'll do group block image. Okay, and now, and just so you know, your block navigation's up here. I use this a lot too because I get lost. Group, you can see all of these are grouped together. If I wanted to do a background, I could. So this is great for promoting something or a call to action or just making sure they see something bright and bold. I use them a lot. So I really highly recommend these. Like I said, usually I will put a whole section into a group block, and there's another way to do it as well. So if I have all this, I can actually highlight, and hopefully this won't prove me wrong. Okay, enter. And so I highlighted the whole little section, I could put it into a group. And now this whole little section's in a group. So if I even wanted to do a bigger background, I'll change the color. If I want to do a different background, I can do that. Okay, so like I said, a lot of creative uses here, guys. So think outside the box and figure out how you can use these. You can also, if you're on Genesis, I do believe most of them are Gutenberg ready. The only way you'll really know is by testing. It's a little bit tricky. I don't want to get too technical. But if you are Gutenberg ready, there's actually even alignments that you can do with your groups. You could do wide width or full width. Full width will, in fact, make it full width on your website if your website is set up for that. Usually in blog posts, you're really not doing full width, but I just wanted to make you aware if you're using it on a page, this is something too that could be a little bit creative. Okay, so that's group blocks. And then we already went over about the plugins that I recommend. There's some time-saving Gutenberg tips. I already talked about the slash to find the blocks. Drag and drop images. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, you can actually drag and drop images. So if I wanted to take an image from Fidos, I can drag and drop it in. Okay, now she may not be happy about that it's so easy to drag and drop it in, but this will make your life so much easier than having to actually click, do the image block, upload, drag and drop. You can do it from websites. You can do it from your own files on your website, on your computer. So I love this feature. I actually just got addicted to this recently. Shift and enter for line breaks. Now, this is me being a total type A personality. I like my stuff neat and clean. I don't want 4,000 paragraphs in my post. It's not gonna hurt you, but it just drives me insane. So shift and enter for line breaks. Okay, I highly recommend it. And here's the difference. So this is considered a paragraph, okay, because it's just one line and I hit return after this. When you hit return, it starts a new paragraph. okay? But if you hit Shift and Enter, which is what I did here, it'll just give you space. The reason why this matters with this is because at some point in time, you may be like, all right, I want to move my content, or maybe this should have been up. You know, it just keeps it cleaner if you do the Shift and Enter as opposed to an Enter for every paragraph. Not a big deal. I just want to make you aware it's there. I like Shift and Enter. It just makes my life easier. Edit post slug. This one's a kind of a pain in the butt. When you're doing a new post, and guys, edit your post slugs. Please, you shouldn't have 4,000 words in your post slugs. SEO tip, clean them, keep them clean. The only way you can edit your post slug in Gutenberg is you have to save a draft of the post first. Okay, you cannot edit your post slug without saving a draft. Once you save the draft, you just click on the title, and then you can edit it up here, or you can also edit it in here. Okay, so that's how you do that. That took me a while to figure out because they didn't make that easy. All right, copy all content we went over. So what you're really here for is the good stuff. So I am a big advocate for keeping your stuff consistent. If you're doing review posts, keep your review posts consistent so that when people are visiting your site, they know what to expect. So I am going to show you, I hope I set this up right. This has been glitchy today, so I'm hoping this came out okay. All right, I'm going to delete what's here. You know what? There's my problem. Okay. I found out my problem, it wasn't glitchy, it's me. So because I put the toolbar up here and I'm not used to using the toolbar up there, it wasn't showing me where the remove blocks and the edit stuff was. So I'm just being an idiot. Okay, so what I did, and we're gonna go over reusable blocks and then we'll be done. So reusable blocks, okay, you can type in reusable and this is gonna show me all the reusable blocks that I have going on, okay? I created for the webinar, I created something called a template sample blog post. Okay, so I'm just gonna insert that here. Okay, you can see now I have a sample blog post. I'm gonna convert it to regular blocks. If I try to edit this right now, this is where I was getting screwed up before. I forgot the toolbar was up here. If I try to edit this, it will not let me edit it, okay? Reusable blocks by default will not be editable. That's why I love them for banner ads and mailing lists, because once you insert it into a page, you can't change it. So if I edit this from the reusable blocks area, which we will go into in a second, all of this will change, okay? But right now, I want to just use this as a true template. So I'm going to convert to regular blocks. And now I can change. So what this does, it allows you to keep your look and feel consistent. Like every one of my blog posts, I know I have an image up here on my Charity Paws, I think my Charity Paws site, there's a featured image. I always have an intro that's like 20 pixels font size. Okay, then I have my content, then I have my pros and cons box. I just reuse my template on every single review post that I do. I never have to redo anything. I just change the text here. This I also did as a reusable block, so I'll have to convert it to a regular block as well. So you can have reusable blocks within your reusable blocks, which is good. So I'm gonna do, this is my product to review. I can just jump here. I can just change out my image. Let's go to gallery. Oh, I don't want gallery. We do upload. Do the other. Do this guy, add to gallery. So now maybe I want this to be a gallery of my products so I can add multiple products. Then I just change my text here to add my product info, pros and cons. You know, this is easy. I already got it all set up. I got my fingers up, fingers down. You know, he farts. I'm going to leave that. Maybe that's a problem with everybody's puppy. And then I can just do some featured things about the puppy. And then this would be a call to action block, and it would contain a link to my affiliate. And you can even do this like if you wanted to add another one. I often have actually two. I can do duplicate. Okay, and then move it up. Okay, so I can't move it up because of the way I have this set up, but you can take this and duplicate it and put it up here in a normal thing. So think creatively how you can use your blocks to sell your product. So I might have one after this. If I've described the product here, I can do a call to action block here and then have another one at the footer. So just an idea of how to use this. Okay, a little more text, maybe another image, and here's my sign up for my newsletter. Now this is a reusable block. I'm not going to edit it. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, and you can see here it says sign up for our newsletter and then just subscribe. Okay, now maybe I do want to edit this block. I want it to say something else. I'm going to go more tools and options. I'm going to go to manage all reusable blocks. And this is where you'll see all the blocks that you've created. Highly, highly, highly recommend making them make sense. For me, I start all mine with whatever the thing is. So for me, I might do button. I might do template, sample blog post, template, review blog post, template, dog food blog post. If you have certain looks and feels, it's just easier to find it that way. If you just label them, you know, reusable block for this, or if you don't put any thought into it, you're going to wind up with 100 reusable blocks and you have no idea what they are. So whatever works for you. So mailing list, happy category, you know, that might be, you know, so you separate out your categories so you can pull in the right mailing list to the right category. So this is the form mailing list I just showed you in that sample post. I'm going to edit this real quick. Okay. It's just like any other editor. So this is actually a code or an HTML block with my code right from MailChimp. Okay, just copied it in. We're good to go. Sign up for our newsletter. Find more great dog stuff. Okay, and then click update. Okay, your reusable blocks can be edited just like anything else. So I can have, you know, if I want to put an image underneath, I can do that. I'll do this guy. And then if I want to do social share, I might have, social share for, you know, whatever reason, you can do that. So let's go back to this. And hopefully it's not going to embarrass me again. Okay, and there's the updated reusable block. Okay, so get the latest. If you want more stories about adorable puppies, there's the picture I put in. There's the social share I added. This reusable block will be updated on every post that reusable block is on. I can't stress enough how fabulous that is. And this opens a whole new world for you guys in how you target your audience. You know, you guys know your audience best. Figure out what resonates with them on a category by category basis, or, you know, a post by post basis. I have different reusable blocks on all different posts on my websites. I'm never the same. I try to keep them all different, and I try to keep them fresh. So same thing, if I had an ad, let me go back here real quick. I think I put an ad in here. Let me see. I didn't put one in here. But if you had a banner ad, you would simply put the banner ad in here, and then this is where you're going to go to change that banner ad. Super easy to do. Okay, so we're going to go back to this one second, manage all reusable blocks. And again, I can't stress enough making sure you're creating these in a way that makes sense for you. Reusable, so pros and cons details. I built this out to be a pro and cons section for my review posts. This is just the section that is going to focus on the review for my review post. I'll have text above it. I'll have text below it. I've got the image. This is what I just showed you. So this is where I created this right in here. Okay, and I can add more to it if I want. So remember I said I did something with this before. I might want to duplicate this. Okay, now I should be able to bring it up. I hope it's not going to do this again. It did it again. All right, there's a reason it's not going up. I'm not sure why. I have to do it as a separate block. So these are the things, the kind of things you can play around with. You still have your same editor over here. Okay. And I think that is it. So I am going to stop recording.